to the game with a whole different like aura and swagger, you know. He liked my art and he said, why don't you help me look good on the court and I'll help you blow up in the NBA. This right here is my personal collection. I mean, it goes from Nike, you know, Dunks all the way to Jordans to Adidas. I got some Ewings in there. So my favorite pair out of this whole collection, I actually made my own shoes. My Rick and Morty sneakers right here. I've been able to do shoes for over about 50 players in the league this past season. Some of my favorites were Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Cat, James Harden. The biggest pair that I made for him was the Free Meek pair. You know, it was a huge controversial pair because, you know, Meek Mills was in prison and that's one of his best friends. So it was just a way of him voicing his opinion. A couple of the shoes that I've already done. These are for Ricky Rubio. We did a little giveaway. We got some UCLA players cleats. One of my personal favorites. These are for a big YouTuber. His name's TD, and he does a lot of gaming. This pair right here I made for Karl-Anthony Towns. He's one of my best friends in the league. We are both big fans of Stranger Things, and when he told me that he was a fan of the show, the first thing I did was get home and paint these. This is my workstation. This is where I get all the work done. I have a huge array of paints. Then I got my airbrush guns, which is like my biggest weapon. It's not a huge space, but it's all I need. I call them the butterfly effects. So these guys are already all taped up, prepped, ready to go. You know, initial black hits on there to make it darker, deeper black. I'm gonna be using stencils, airbrushing colors and all kinds of stuff, and then I'll go in on both pairs with some paint markers to add a couple final details. Before I started doing the sneakers, I had only known of maybe 2 or 3 other pairs that had been done in the NBA in the past 4 years. Growing up, I was into sneakers. I just never had the money to buy sneakers. As the years went by, I started picking up different art crafts. Once I hit about 25, that's when I started painting sneakers. When I started customizing, I had a lot to learn. I messed up a lot of shoes, a lot of disgruntled customers, a lot of my shoes messed up, but if you don't go through it, you're never gonna learn pretty much. Now I'm partially colorblind, and it's been a challenge for one of my boys, Josh Hart from the Lakers. I had made him this Fortnite sneaker, and I put him on there as a character. I sent a picture to my manager, and he was like, it looks dope. Are you gonna leave his face green? Within the first year, I was building a lot of connections, networking with a lot of big sneaker blogs, and you know, as the ball kept rolling, my following started to increase. In 2016, I was on my way to SneakerCon LA. I had a table with over 7 pairs of shoes that I had customized to look like Nike Air Mags with lights in them and everything, and everybody was hyped to see it. I was on the freeway on my way to the SneakerCon, and I got in a pretty bad accident that pretty much messed up my lower back. So I pretty much went missing in action for about a year. People were like, yo, did he die? Did he just give up? I went through a little depression. I went from making pretty decent money doing it to making nothing and having to pick up a minimum wage job, you know? Something happened where I said, I want to see who's following me still. And that's when I saw Karl-Anthony Towns was following me. So I just shot my shot, and I sent him a DM, and he responded very quickly. And he liked my story, he liked my art, and he said, why don't you help me look good on the court, and I'll help you blow up in the NBA. So that's how it happened. And then Halloween came along, and I made his Jason pair. It went viral, and there was people trying to put in orders for the shoe. I'm doing this because I love it. The ones that are in it for the fame and stuff, they don't like the fact that I've grown so fast. The other hurdles I had to overcome was how cutthroat and how cruel other people can be. So we just pulled up to Kicks Bids right now, sneaker consignment shop, where I used to work. Oh, what? Is this an ID? Yeah, it's an ID. This is Back to the Future, bro. Let's put lights on it. These are 11.
I've always told Sal he had great abilities. I mean, to take a shoe and really just not even have a whole lot of people telling him, like, this is what I want. People just tell him, like, hey, I just want something with a Dodger theme or, you know, Dragon Ball Z or whatever. The way he comes up with things on his own is just amazing.
There's some that you value more than others that I wouldn't want to touch, you know? So, you know, for instance, like the Shadow ones is just a great colorway, you know? It's really neutral. You can wear it with a lot of stuff. Not to say I never have customized a pair of these, but if it was mine, I probably wouldn't. But then there's other ones like these that are all white. It just makes for the perfect custom. Sneakerheads as a whole love what I do. At this point, everybody wants to be different. Everybody's getting tired of the same stuff, you know? So that's where we come in as artists, and we're able to give these people a platform where they could wear something that nobody else has. Last color. Now we're gonna pick out the stencils. I'm gonna start adding white speckle, like a little bit on the wings, on the little bubbles over here. I think my art has been able to, you know, live on through a lot of different guys' personalities. Here it is. Final product. Now, the last and final step is taking it out, take some pictures, man. It ain't worth it unless the world gets to see them, right? There's so much more behind a player than what you see on the court. Going into next season, I want to start prepping for, you know, my own shop. Start taking it up a notch. Who knows where it could go from there?